Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my most humble and loving pranams to our most beloved Bhagwan, respected elders, brothers and sisters, and dear students. I must thank Professor Anil Kumar for such an introduction. But I must remind myself that in the game of snakes and ladders, the snake at 99 is the most dangerous snake. And spirituality must remember that snake can never let you go to 100 from 98. I keep that in mind, but I am full of gratitude to him because he's born out of love, he lives in love, and I'm sure his end is also going to be in pure love. What a beautiful day today. The day of Guru Purnima and the conjunction with the unveiling of the Mahasamadhi. Listening to my young friends here today and sitting in the corner there, I could only envisage and experience the massive and immense love that the Creator has for all of us sitting here today, for the entire mankind that is around in the world today. Because he, out of his immense compassion, immense love, decided to take the form of the most beautiful avatar that humankind has ever seen, in the form of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. An avatar who, out of pure love, was impatient to give all of us the ultimate truth, the ultimate knowledge that even the rishis could never achieve after years and years of penance. So much was the love of Bhagwan for each one of us. It was for the first time in the history of mankind, brothers and sisters, that we realized that an avatar came on the face of this earth not to make each one of us his follower, I dare say. He never wanted us to become his followers. He was impatient to tell us that not only he is God, but you also are God, and that is our destiny, and he wanted us to live that destiny and achieve it in this birth itself. Such haste and such love and compassion never seen before. The second most beautiful thing that Bhagwan did, first time in the history of mankind, was to disclose the simple address of God. Man ran helter-skelter to temples, mosques, gurdwaras, and different places in search of God. But Bhagwan came and told us, look Bangaru, look nowhere else. I am right there sitting in your heart and dealing with everything that you have to do. And the third most important thing that Bhagwan told us was very creative. He said, not only I am residing in you and I stay inside your heart, but I, as the same God that resides in you, resides in the heart of each and every one of us. And what a beautiful goal setting that God did for us. It was Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba who for the first time has undertaken a massive evaluation and a massive valuation exercise of making man the prime creation, where we have created a world where everything else is valuable and we are most invaluable. Bhagwan changed that completely and made us the most valuable, and everything else the least valuable in our lives is the gift and the grace of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Today indeed is a great day when we just unveiled the Mahasamadhi. Ostensibly, we are all here at a function to unveil the Mahasamadhi. But I think if you look back and think back, it is not we who have unveiled the Mahasamadhi. It is Bhagwan who has lifted the veil of ignorance from all our minds today. And that is a symbol of this Mahasamadhi today. This Mahasamadhi is a remembrance, is a reminder to mankind of what Bhagwan said and what Bhagwan expected out of each one of us. Bhagwan said that, remember, I'm inside you. You look at that Mahasamadhi and we cannot forget that. Bhagwan said that I am the doer. You look at the Mahasamadhi and you cannot forget that. Bhagwan said, I reside in everyone, and therefore look at love with everyone, and you cannot forget that. This is a unique Mahasamadhi. Never before it has ever happened. This Mahasamadhi is not a structure of marble and stone. This is a living Mahasamadhi. It breathes every moment and will continue breathing every moment of our lives. I am remembered of the dhuni, the fire that was lit by Shirdi Baba in the Shirdi temple. Shirdi's avatar is remembered by the dhuni where people go and take ash. But this Mahasamadhi has no dhuni, but it has a very unique dhuni. Because when Bhagwan said that my breath is your devotion is my breath, and therefore this Samadhi which is going to breathe continuously for ages and ages to come is going to be fed by your devotion and my devotion that continuously goes for ages and ages to come. But the question remains, what is that devotion that we are going to offer to the Samadhi every time that we come here? It was years back, in his young form as a young lad, that Bhagwan defined devotion for the first time. And he didn't define it as jap or tap or dhyan or bhajan. He defined devotion as that in a human being. He defined that as a human being, where the human being is at peace always, both in happiness and sorrow. And that samabhav was the devotion that Bhagwan defined and expected from all of us. Today, brothers and sisters, it's a challenge for all of us to ensure that we retain our peace, both in happiness and sorrow at all times, because that is the breath, that is the devotion that Bhagwan is expecting out of all of us. It's an amazing saga. Bhagwan's words have not to be taken lightly, because Bhagwan often said that I do not say anything half-heartedly, and nor do I say anything that I don't mean, because my words have the power of my presence, and therefore every word that Bhagwan says has to come true, and let there be no doubt in the minds of anyone at all. The challenge today, on the eve of the unveiling of the Mahasamadhi, is to ensure that all devotees around the world shun one great thing, and that is fear. Because Bhagwan says, if you have the slightest fear, you don't have faith in me. And we all know that we have faith immensely in the teachings of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. And therefore, that fear has no place in our lives. Many questions were asked whether Bhagwan has left and Bhagwan has not left. How can he leave ever when he was always there, he is there, and he always will be there? Bhagwan, as my young students pointed out to us repeatedly, has guaranteed that he is going to be with us at all times. And let there be no doubt in the minds of people anywhere in the world that Bhagwan and Bhagwan's mission will continue. Yes, the question comes, Bhagwan has done what he has to do. What do we do is a big question mark. I have a short story to share with you, which has immensely touched my heart when I heard it from another brother from Malaysia. It was Confucius, the great Chinese saint, who was traveling once with his disciples from one place to another place. And in those days, there were no computers and there were no pens and writings. And the message that Confucius gave to his disciples was all written in a scroll. And these scrolls were carried with them wherever the master went. One such moment in the northern regions of the Arctic, when Confucius was traveling with his disciples from one place to another place, as the cavalcade crossed, the thin ice cracked at the moment when the cart which was carrying the entire message of Confucius was traveling, and lo and behold, the entire cart carrying the message of Confucius fell inside ice-cold water. The disciples were stunned. Confucius stood back. The disciple looked to Confucius, waiting for instruction. Confucius was quiet. The disciples look at the master looks at the disciple, and nobody moves. There is one disciple who realized what had happened and decided that he had to do something. He decided, and he jumped into ice-cold water below the sleet of ice and started going in and picking up one scroll and bringing it back. And as he picked up one scroll and brought it back, the water was ice-cold. The other disciples are telling the master, "Master, stop him. He will die inside the ice-cold water." Master did not say anything at all. Ultimately, when the last scroll was brought up in ice-cold water, that disciple kept the scroll on top, and sheer fatigue, he just collapsed in the water and died there. Again, there was a stunned silence. The disciples looking at the master looking at disciples, and then the master said one master statement. All of you promised to die for the master, but far greater is to die for the message of the master rather than the master, is what the master told the Confucius. Brothers and sisters, what is that message that we need to live for? Because Swami never wanted us to die for anything. Swami wanted us to live, and live happily and full of joy, and to carry his mission further. Many people asked me, and many people said, and I'm sure a lot of people were asked, what happens now that Bhagwan has gone away? Why has Bhagwan gone away? If Bhagwan decided to leave his physical mortals and physical coil, I think it was a plan which he had in mind. Why? If dare I ask, and my answer is very simple. Because whether we had faith or not is another question. But Bhagwan had faith in every devotee of his, that now they are ready to face the world, and he must take a back seat and give us the front seat, so that the world of tomorrow will see thousands and millions of Satya Sai, and not only one Satya Sai, was the confidence that the Master had in all one of us. Let it be known that the departure of the physical form of the Master is not an incident or a coincidence. It is a planned departure, where every great Guru takes a back seat when he knows that the disciples are now ready to face the world, and that is the story of Adi. This is the confidence with which we must live, and this is the confidence with which we want to face the world right from today onwards. Brothers and sisters, many questions were asked on what is the legacy of Sri Satya Sai. Who is the inheritor of the legacy of Satya Sai? And what is it? Foolishly, the world went on in terms of material worlds. But what does the material matter to the Divine Master? What does it matter to the Master where the goddess of wealth serves his lotus feet? How does it matter to him what money is and what asset is and what estate is? Bhagwan, as we all know, had no interest in any asset or any money or any part. And this I say not for the saying, not for the saying of clarification, because this is the truth that we lived with Bhagwan for 85 years, and we know it for sure as our own experience, and we don't need anybody else to tell us the situation. The legacy of Satya Sai is indeed unique. At this stage, I must mention the father figure, the doyen. The doyen of the Satya Sai organization was the prime instrumentality through which the organization took birth, Shri Indulal Shah. I remember him last 4 to 5 years continuously, he's been asking this question to everyone who meets him. Only one question. He never says, how are you or what you are. He will only ask, what is that legacy of Satya Sai that you want to leave for the next generation that will never have the vision or the sight of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba? What is that legacy that we should leave back? And as we were traveling last month to Calcutta, our All India President, some of the state presidents, all of us were thinking together and sat together and decided that let us decide for ourselves what is that legacy that we have to be proud about. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, some of the thoughts that emerged, which I'd like to place before you, are very, very immensely energizing and encouraging. One of the first legacies that Bhagwan has left behind for us is the beautiful hospitals, the university, and this lovely Prashanti Nilayam. These are hallmarks of Bhagwan's love. These are symbols of unconditional love for mankind. The Satya Sai hospitals are hospitals that no human being can ever dare to dream to make. Only God can make these hospitals and no one else. I dare say from this dais, even the richest man on the face of this earth will think 100 times even before thinking of making such a hospital, where God made it just like that out of love for mankind. These are hallmarks where every poor man that leaves the portals of that hospital is going to go in the world and become an emissary of Bhagwan's love and tell the world that love works, truth works, and there is still compassion for man to be aspiring and man to be happy and peace. These hospitals will continue. These are divinely ordained. The doer is God, and therefore let no man be under an impression that he or she will be able to run or not run this hospital. They will run irrespective of whoever is there around or not there, because God himself will run these hospitals and run it for millions and millions of years. The Satya Sai University, a unique gift of God to man. And I often said, I'm very, very unfortunate for not being young enough to have joined the university when I came to Bhagwan for the first time. And therefore, if envy is permissible, I am envious of all my brothers and sisters who have joined this university all along. The beauty of this university is that such a university that tells man how to live life has never been created anywhere in the world. that tells the students how to stand upright with self-confidence like lions and not like sheep is never been created anywhere in the world at all. And I tell you, they have a role to perform, as Swami always said. These students and the alumni that have passed out, they've spread out all over the world, and they are like lamps. And one day, in the darkness of ignorance, suddenly we will see millions of lamps shining all over the world in the form of the alumni and students of the Satya Sai University, which is not far enough to see. These universities will continue. Let anybody say anything, the Satya Sai University is here to stay for millions of years and for millions of students to come through the portals. Nobody can ever touch these institutions created by Bhagwan. The Sri Satya Sai Ashram, Prashanti Nilayam. What a beautiful place. What a magnificent mansion of the Lord himself. And now, with his breathing samadhi right in front of us, this is a place where people will know what pure love is. People will know what love means. And if ever they want to experience love, they will come to Prashanti Nilayam and know what pure love is. And that is the beauty of this ashram and the lovely Sai Kulwant Hall. Yes, my brothers, as you mentioned so many incidents, to me this place has great memories. Memories with children, thousands of them, and Bhagwan and children together. And every time the smile, the face. It will be remembered always, the walk of Bhagwan on the stage and Bhagwan looking down at children. Every program, every Ashadi that I was here was a memorable event. Last Ashadi here, just a few days ago, we missed him for a moment. But I tell you, after the few moments of the so-called ignorance of missing him, we felt him every moment, still watching us and still giving us those gifts and all those lovely smiles that we ever got. And that is a great experience. But these are still, again, material dimensions of Bhagwan's legacy. The far greater legacy, apart from these institutions which are going to be run by the Satya Sai Central Trust. And I dare say, this Satya Sai Central Trust has the name of Swami. It is absolutely a trust which is ordained with the responsibility of becoming instruments in the divine hands to fulfill the mission of Bhagwan as far as the institutions are concerned. But let us not forget that beyond the Satya Sai Central Trust, there is a huge Satya Sai Seva organization all over the world, which is the most unique organization in the world, never ever created by anyone else. The Satya Sai Seva organization is a miracle of mankind. It is an opportunity for man to know that God can do miracles, but even man in the form of God can also do miracles, is the hallmark of Satya Sai organization all over the world. No human being can inspire so many millions of people around the world to do selfless service and sacrifice their lives for the sake of love and for well-being of human beings. No human being can do this. Only God's love can do that. And that is what Swami has done to all of us all over the world. This organization is a very unique organization because it has no formality, it has no formal structure, but still it has the divine stamp of perpetuity of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, and it will be there for ages and ages to come. As long as mankind is looking for peace, succor and love, the Satya Sai organization will always remain there. But the best part of the legacy of the Satya Sai organization, brothers and sisters, is the unique fact where Bhagwan once said that I have nothing to do with this organization, and people were shocked when they heard this. But Bhagwan slowly said, yes, I have lent it my name because I want each one of you to use the platform of the Satya Sai organization to strengthen your one-to-one relationship with me, and therefore I have created this Satya Sai organization. Brothers and sisters, we haven't realized yet, or the realization hasn't dawned on the glory of the avatar of Satya Sai. Imagine the Satya Sai avatar in his physical form could achieve which nothing and nobody can achieve. And what was that? He gave every one of the millions of devotees a feeling that he was born only for him and for no one else. And such kind of a personal feeling he gave no one on the face of this earth. This only divine love can do, and nobody else can achieve this, brothers and sisters. 6 lakh workers in the Sai organization. Hundreds and thousands of villages being looked after. Millions of devotees and active workers in 135 countries. And imagine the great saga that Brother Leonardo Gutter has achieved in Argentina, and like that in many, many countries. The Satya Sai organization is vibrating all over the world, and nobody can shake the foundations of this organization, whatever they may do at all the face of this earth. But beyond the Sai organization, the greatest miracle, the greatest gift that Bhagavan has given us is the gift of love. The legacy of love, as we all saw the young brothers and brothers mentioning about the legacy of love. What a love. A love that inspires man to forget all the harm that others have done to him and to forget all the good that he has done to others. Only divine love can inspire man to achieve this state and nobody else. A love that inspires man to sacrifice every act of service without claiming any doership to it, because that's what Bhagavan wanted us to learn. Do everything and surrender to Bhagavan. Give up the sense of doership. No organization, no love can inspire this like Bhagavan's divine love can do. A love that can tell us that the seat of this love is inside each one of us. It is this love that when reflects is the truth. It is this love when put into action, it is dharma. And when you form this habit of putting this love into action at all times and putting this dharma into action, peace is a guaranteed feeling that Bhagavan has promised all of us. This divine saga of love, brothers and sisters, will be unflinchingly available to every humankind throughout the world. And this is the heritage that we are carrying forward in the next generation. This is what the next generation of young people who will come to Prashanti Nilayam and will never have seen the face of or the physical form of Bhagavan, they will look to us and see how much of this love is being expressed by us to them. And then they will know what the beauty and grandeur of Satya Sai Avatar was. And beyond this, the manifestation of this love in the beautiful program of Sri Satya Sai Educare is going to remain for millions and millions of years from today, which will tell mankind how to live life, how to manifest this inner conscience. Bhagavan very simply told us, brothers and sisters, follow the conscience. Remember that I am talking to you from inside. Wherever we are in the world, Bhagavan will speak to us from inside us, and he will never give us up and never leave us at any point of time, is a guarantee that we must believe. Yes, come to Prashanti Nilayam every time that the volume of that voice, the volume of the inner voice, if it reduces anywhere in the world, come running to Prashanti Nilayam, bow down to this breathing samadhi, and back the volume of your inner voice will go up, is a guarantee of this samadhi that we can kick back as you. What can I say at the end, brothers and sisters? Bhagavan brought us to him. Bhagavan gave us the experience of his divinity. But now is the time for us to reflect his glory. Now is the time for us to reflect his divinity in us as walking, talking reflections of the divine being wherever we are in the world, with only one hope, that at the end of all this, all of us will achieve the divine lotus feet and merge with him at the time and the place and at the occasion ordained by him. Let us not fear. Let us not worry, because worry is distrust to Bhagavan. Fear is disrespect to Bhagavan. Lack of confidence is lack of faith in Bhagavan. Let's remember this. And from tomorrow morning onwards, every time that we get up, look in the mirror and let us not tell ourselves that we are ordinary beings, we are anath, or we have been left without God, because God has not left us. Every time that you look in the mirror, look at yourself and enjoy only one Guru Mantra that Bhagavan gave us, that you also are God. I am God, I am God, I am God is a Guru Mantra that we need to follow from tomorrow and never forget about these. With these few words, on Guru Purnima Day, it is the system, the Guru Dakshina. What is that Guru Dakshina that we need to offer to our Bhagavan? And that Guru Dakshina, brothers and sisters, is nothing but, as Bhagavan way back on 24th of July 1964 mentioned, that give me your unselfish and unwavering mind, and then I promise you that I will appear every time in my purest form and give you darshan. Jai Sai Ram.